Hi everyone, my name is Jessica and I'm here to talk about cross stitch today. I am coming to you on a very rainy, overcast day, so apologies for the lighting. I have super warm overhead lights in this room and I was really banking on natural light, like good natural light coming in, but of course it decided to rain today. But I just want to keep going with it. I just want to try this out. It's a Friday right now, so I think if I wait until Monday, I might chicken out because I am super camera shy. So let's just go with this. So like I said, my name is Jessica. I currently share my cross stitch over on Instagram. My Instagram is JetXStitch. But I thought it'd be fun to come over here and try out the whole Flosstube thing. Just get to talk more about the hobby that I absolutely love right now. Today I'm going to be doing a little whip parade. I only have 10 whips, so we'll be doing that, but I'm going to start out just with a little intro about myself. I live in Washington, the greater Seattle area, hence the gloomy rain. Although in the summer it's not gloomy. It's not really that gloomy all that often, honestly, except in the winter. But I live in Seattle with my husband, daughter, and 2 cats, which you may hear in the background. I don't know what's gonna be picking up since this is the first time I'm trying out filming, but yeah, that's what you might hear. I've been cross-stitching since 2022, so not very long, but of course, cross-stitching has taken over my life. Not really, but for the most part, I do a lot of cross-stitching. I love doing it in my free time. It's just such a great, relaxing, fun hobby to do. That's my cat. Alright, sorry about that. I had to do a little pause because my cat was getting super interested all of a sudden in his like really crinkly tunnel, and I thought it would be too loud, probably very distracting. It was at least really distracting to me. So I think I was talking about hobbies. So yes, cross stitch, obviously. And then my other main hobby is video gaming and tabletop gaming. I'm not currently playing any video games though, so don't have anything to share there, but I am playing a really fun tabletop game called Slay the Spire. It's a deck building game if you're familiar with, I guess, gaming terminology. It was originally a mobile game, I believe, but my husband picked up the tabletop version, so we've been playing that very casually and having a lot of fun with it. So yeah, where to next? Last thing I want to mention, yes, that's right. Last thing I want to mention is I do design some of my own cross stitch patterns. I really enjoy the process of, you know, like designing the art, pixel art, usually on my iPad, and then translating that into, or like being able to stitch that and bring it to life essentially into a full cross stitch piece. So that's a very, I guess, important part to me about this hobby, and I find that I get a lot of enjoyment out of that process. I'm going to be showing off just a couple of whips that are my own design. Right now I like to stitch everything before I release the pattern, so if you're seeing like one of my designs as a whip, it means that it is not available right now, but in the future, hopefully that's the goal, to have them available either as like I do paid patterns and then paid for patterns and freebies. I do some freebies too. So that was more cat stuff, more cat shenanigans. He's getting really wild all of a sudden. Let's see. Let's get started though. For now, I might need a pause since he is getting very zoomy right now. My black cat, he's very active. But first up, first whip. Let's see how this goes. So my first whip is a Nora Corbett. Oh, I should mention before I get too into this, I am banking on future Jessica being able to figure out how to put pictures up here. So I'm really hoping pictures, cover images will appear on the screen. If not, I am gonna also be putting all the info about the patterns that I'm showing off today in the description box down below, since I only have like 10 of them, so it shouldn't be too hard. I'm gonna give that a try, but let's hope that there's some cover images. So the first one is letters from Nora or letters from Mermaid. I can't remember how it's worded, but it's the letter E. She just like has like the whole alphabet in mermaids and fairies. So this is letter E. And this is my color conversion. Let's see the best lighting. Yeah, it's kind of dim, but that's okay. Yeah, this is my color conversion. I am doing this to my daughter's tastes. She wanted a pink mermaid instead of like the orangey red one that is charted in the pattern. And she is not a fan of like the super warm green. She calls them pukey greens. I love those greens. Green's my favorite color. So I love all greens, but I especially love warm greens right now. But she wanted some minty greens in like the E here. So I swapped those out. And yeah, it's a really pretty pattern. It was very fun to stitch up. Super quick. I'm doing this on a 40 count Picture This Plus. The name of it is Demoiselle, I believe. Yeah. I wanted to try stitching a Nora Corbett on 40 count because I've been getting into Mirabilias lately, but I'm not a fan of 2/2 stitching. I just don't enjoy it the same way I do 1/2. I, however, didn't want to go through the effort, especially with the Mirabilia, of doing all the full cross and everything on a 40 count and then finding out I couldn't find beads to fit. So I'm doing this on a 40 count. We're gonna try out beading on 40. It should be interesting. I went to my local needle workshop, which is Thread and Needle Street, and picked up some beads. Denise was saying, Denise is the owner, she was saying that like I guess the common practice would be to swap out like a regular, like go down a size for switching on 40 count. So like a regular size Mill Hill bead to a petite Mill Hill bead. But Denise was saying that the Mill Hill Petites don't come in as many colors, which is unfortunate. So she has this other brand called Sundance Beads. I don't know if this is gonna focus. I'm not really sure how to make things focus. So, oh, here, this one's a minty. She recommended these to try out. Ooh, there you go. They're really bright. My daughter picked these out. They're gonna be a lot of fun to add in, I think, though. I'm excited. I've never beaded before though, so that'll be a new experience to try. We'll see how that goes. I think it'll be fine, but I think this is so close to finishing. I've had this in this state for weeks now, and I've just been putting it off because I don't wanna, I'm sure there's plenty of YouTube videos explaining beading, but I just am not in the mood to learn a new skill, I guess. That's really what it comes down to. I just want to wait, and when I'm in the mood, I will get back to this, and it should be a pretty fun, quick finish. For my color conversion, I did just stuff from Stash, so it's very a random assortment of color and cotton. There's classic colorworks in here. There's Roxy Floss, some DMC, yeah, but nice, pretty palette, bright palette. It's been a lot of fun to stitch. Okay, so that was my first WIP. Next up, oh, let's put the beads up there too. Next up is Mooka. It's my only Mirabilia I'm stitching right now. I never really wanted to stitch a Mirabilia until I saw Mooka. Like I said, my favorite color is green, and I also just like the nature-y elements in Mooka. I really appreciate her. Beans, no, that's my cat, and he's like jumping on my fabric, my projects, that is. What was I saying? I really appreciate the like more dynamic poses Nora Corbett does with some of her Mirabilias, like instead of just having like a static standing person, like this Mooka is like lounging and all laid back. So I tend to, I think a lot of the patterns I like are, you know, just not as static of a pose, I guess you'd say. I don't know the terminology. I'm not very, I am an artist, but I am terrible at drawing humans, so that's okay. All right, this one is, yeah, like I said, it's Mooka. It's on a 32 count Wichelt fabric. This is so big. It's like, it's another reason why I want to stitch Miras on 40 count in the future, because this is huge. I think this is one of the bigger Mirabilias though. So that's the bottom of it. It's starting to be like the bottom of her dress there. And then, yeah, we got, I think I have at least, I hope I have at least 50% done on this. I still have like the whole fairy to do. I haven't even started on her, so, except for the bottom of the dress, I guess. But this one's getting there. I think I mentioned it's Wichelt fabric, 32 count. It's the called for, so it's, the color is Water Lily. However, I bought this at local needle workshop, and this is old Wichelt. Denise was saying that Wichelt didn't always used to be stiff, so like you can see it's super floppy and not super unpleasant to stitch on because, yeah, it's got some flexibility in the fabric. However, it is very loose still. It's like a loose weave. I can kind of see myself through the fabric. And it's also light, I guess, which is contributing to my issues of like, I like to carry. I don't like stopping and starting. My backs are, yeah, it's my back. I like carrying, but on this one, like I've had to, you know, I guess I can show the front. I don't need to show the back of this while I'm explaining. But like these little spots where it's these leaves that I'm stitching, there's two colors in them, and I hate having to stop and start on them. So I really wish I could carry. I really wish I could carry on this, but I think it'll be worth it to not carry. I think it'll be too obvious. So yeah, this has been fun. I didn't expect to enjoy Mirabilia stitching so much. It's really great how it's blocky stitching, but it flows. Like you can see in here where it's just like a light color and then you surround it by like the next darkest color, next darkest. So it's a little less boring than just a solid, say like fill rectangle, because I get worn out on doing that sort of stuff. But with this, it's still blocky, but a little bit more going on. So it keeps me entertained. All right, that's Mooka. Next. All right, next one is, what is this? Okay, yeah, that's right. This is Korok by Pinky the Pink or Make It Pink. I'm not sure. I don't remember what, I think both of them, one of them might be the website, one of them might be her handle, I'm not sure. But Make It Pink, she's the designer that charts Hannah Alexander artwork. So this is one of the smaller Hannah Alexander. It's still pretty large. Like this is, oh, I'm holding it the wrong way. I see now. I was like, that's really small, much smaller than I expected. No, this is the top of it, and I think it probably goes down to there. Maybe put it on this side for the light. Yeah. I like how she charts these, how it has a like really thick outline, like backstitched around the entire piece. Cat noises, oh my gosh. He's so excited right now. I probably should have played with him before starting this. I didn't think about that. Just add it to the list of preparation for Flosstube, apparently. Okay. So yeah, this is the top. It's looking really great. I love how it's turning out. I do love this pattern, but I love another pattern she has even more. It's the Zelda princess, like Zelda, actual Zelda, not Link. But that one is just, it's huge. Like, it's so big. I didn't want to start with that. So we're giving this a try. I wanted to make sure I liked stitching her patterns before getting myself into something that big. Now this is on a Picture This Plus 28 count carnival. Yeah. It has more purple on this side, but I chose the orangier side to stitch on for this piece in particular. Okay, and it's 2/2. Next up is a Dimensions Gold kit. So I have an extensive collection of out of print wizard cross stitch patterns. It's a little excessive, I think. I don't know that I'll ever be able to stitch them all, but I just think they're super funny. I don't know what it is about them. I've already stitched a couple of wizards. I stitched a more recent pattern, not out of date. It's the Sewing Starfish Wizards Inventory Cell. I stitched that one. I finished that. It's really fun. And I've also stitched a smaller, like, little Dimensions kit wizard. Just because, I don't know. I plan to have I plan to put like just wizard, like have a wizard wall outside of my office in the downstairs area. So this will go on that as well. This is, like I said, Dimensions Gold. It is Magnificent Wizard, and it is an out of print kit, unfortunately. This is where I got to so far. This is on a 20 count Aida by Fiber on a Whim. The color is Night Sky. So yeah, I switched out the kit Aida. I'm stitching it on 20 count. I'm doing 1/1 instead of whatever Dimensions recommends, which I don't think I'll ever want to do, like 4 strands, 3 strands. Yeah, no, I'm just simplifying it greatly because I can't be bothered to do all of that. It just doesn't sound relaxing to me. So here's where I'm at. Yeah, there are some blends, which I think I've done some blends in here. It's like so small, I don't think you could even tell that that's happening right there. I've been doing blends just by doing the lower leg in the darker color of the blend, and then the top leg I do with the lighter color. So it's like, it's not as good, of course. It's better to do blends with 2 strands, and so that both colors will be present in the top leg, but I think it works and it gets the point across, and it's easier for me to just do 1/1. So that's what I'm doing. It'll be more enjoyable. Yeah, I haven't stitched on this since last year. Next one is a pattern of my own, and I'm kind of iffy on whether I'm liking it right now, which is silly. I do love the design, but I'm kind of questioning the color choices. I'll just show it. So, like I said, no cover image for this one because I'm currently stitching it. Maybe I will pop up though. This is like a revised version of a pattern I released earlier this year. So I originally designed this series. It's a fantasy banner series is what the current iteration is, at least. But originally I designed it just to be like, I think 4x6 rectangles. And I was gonna put them all on one large piece of fabric. But then when I got to the second design, I was thinking more about the finishing, and I thought it'd be really cool to do more of a banner design where it's like a rectangle, you know, like a point, and then little tabs at the top so that they could just hang up at my like stitching area where my TV is. Yeah, so I have since gone back and revised this one, which is the Rogue. Like I said, it's fantasy banners. I am doing one for each class, sort of. Like I'm just picking classes as I go that I want to design for. Things like, if you know, Dungeons and Dragons, classes like Cleric, Ranger, Druid, that sort of thing. This is the rock. Yeah, I'm liking the design so far. I think the only thing I'm questioning is this purpley color, which actually in this lighting it looks way better because it's just all becoming super warm. Yeah, it doesn't fit as well, but I think once I get like it comes down and then it's gonna come to a point at the end. So down here I have a lot more of those purples in there, and I think it'll work out. I kind of designed this with the intent of it being a little bit, I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, like discordant. Like I didn't want the colors to be super matchy, not even matchy. Like I wanted it to be a little chaotic looking. So that's why I'm picking some colors that are not quite fitting with everything else. I will mention this color right here. It's really fun. This is a Pirate Robin floss. It's the first time I'm trying out Pirate Robin. She does some super fun, I'm not sure. They do super fun, highly variegated floss. They have a lot of like standard, I don't want to say standard, they're very highly saturated and more tonal variegation instead of going from one color to the other like this one. So this one goes from like a navy to a red. It's really pretty. I'm trying it out. This one's Black Dahlia. I met up with Thread Gremlins a couple weeks back, and so you'll know if you watch Thread Gremlins that they are always talking up Pirate Robin flosses. And Amy, she's so generous. She gifted me this huge amount, like so many Pirate Robin flosses. She said they were duplicates, so that's the only reason I accepted, I think, because they're really pretty, and I've been trying to incorporate some of them in the patterns that I already have designed, and then I put together a color palette that I'm very excited about for a new design, and I'm gonna show that. I will show that at the very end, I think. I think it's gonna be so much fun though. It'll be a lot of fun, hopefully. I'm always nervous about color choices until I start stitching. I'm like, yeah, it's okay. This one though apparently is an exception to the rule because I'm not sure if it's okay, but I'm gonna go with it. I think it'll work when they're all together, you know? So next up is, I can't remember the exact name. I think it is Strawberry Racoon Cottage. I guess I'll put the cover image up here first. It's by Stuido Ansitru. This is my third one. I have 2 other cottages stitched already. This is, the third and the final one that I want to stitch. But I've been doing all of them on 25 count easy grid. I'm not sure. It's it's what a lot of full coverage stitchers use, but I don't know what brand or anything. I bought it off of 123 Stitch. This pattern is just, I really like this designer's color choices, especially like in the shadows, how they don't really go to black. It's nice purples in there. Very whimsical feel to them. They're like the large strawberries in the corner. I'm doing this as actually I don't know if I mentioned it's 25 count, and I'm doing this 1/2 on the 25 count, and then it's also, or sorry, not 1/2. This is 2/1 10 stitch. That's right. I'm trying out the 2/1 10 stitch with this series, which you can see like the outlines here look a bit janky, but that's okay. I like how they turned out. I mean, like I said, I like how the other ones turned out, the finished ones that I have, so this one I think is looking great as well. Yay. All right, next up is Dragons of Sumatra by Ink Circles. This one I have a bit of a love-hate relationship with. I was fully convinced 2 months ago that I was abandoning this entirely. We're done with it. I'm not stitching anymore. Then earlier this month I was like, no, I can't do that. There's so much stitching done on it. I was gonna try and use the stitching for something else, but yeah, it's quite a lot of stitching. I think it's about 1/3 of the pattern is complete at this point. It's really pretty. Like, looking at it now, I really like how it is, but I think my problem is just with the monochromatic nature of it. I'm just bored of this color. I'm so bored. So bored, so very, very bored. And I don't want to stitch in this color anymore. And yeah, but I think it just needs to get put away for a long time, and then I'll bring it back out and want to stitch on it again. I think I was just being overzealous and wanting to, you know, they just get rid of stuff on my WIP list, like cut down on WIPs. I don't know. I don't, like I said, I only have 10 WIPs, so I don't like to have a lot of WIPs. It kind of gets me, it just weighs on me, and I don't want that extra weight. So I try and be very mindful with my starts and not start too many things at once, that sort of thing. Although that doesn't always happen. There are times where I'm like, in the span of a week, there's 3 starts, that sort of thing. But for the most part, I try and keep like large starts down to a minimum at this point. It's a lesson I've learned, I guess, from just my small, meager 2 years of stitching. This is on a 40 count truffle by Picture This Plus. It's this is not picking up like the pinkiness of it, I think. I don't think so, at least from what I can see. It's definitely a pinky brown. I'm stitching it 1/1 with the DMC color 792. So it's blue, which you've seen in the stitch, of course. Yes, there you go. Okay, next one. Next one. All right. Okay, Unicorn Garden, that's right. Next one is Unicorn Garden by Sprouting Lupine. I really love Sprouting Lupine. Okay, is it Sprouting? Is it Lupine or Lupin? Because I read somewhere that it's supposed to be pronounced Lupin, and that just doesn't sound right to me. So I'm gonna say Sprouting Lupine, but if someone is certain of one way or the other it's supposed to be pronounced, you let me know. I might Google it after this, honestly. So yeah, Sprouting Lupine Designs. I really love her stuff. Like I said, this is Unicorn's Garden. I have a very small start on it. I actually was stitching on this earlier today, so it was even smaller start than this earlier. But I started this shortly after it came out, and then I just, you know how things go. I got distracted by something else. It's really, I just really like this fabric. That's what I'm really looking at right now, since there's not a lot of stitching to look at. This is a Picture This Plus woodland fabric. It's a 36 count, and I'm doing 1/1 stitching. It's a nice dark green, but it still has a little bit of, it's like a bluish dark green, so not very warm. It's really pretty though. I don't think I ever saw it on picture or on 123 Stitch, but Denise, my local needle workshop, she sells a lot of Picture This Plus, and she usually has a good like stock, a good inventory of it, and this is something I picked up there. So yeah, I'll get back to that. I might stitch on this more later today because it's a lot of fun. Pretty. Oh yeah, I didn't bring the floss here, but I am doing a conversion on it. Like this, actually only one of these colors, I think this dark brown is called for, but everything else so far is not called for. It is, these are just like over dyed flosses from my stash that I've been using. I thought it'd be fun. I'm not like really big into blue right now on cross stitch. This is probably this fault. It's probably the fault of this one. Like, I just don't want blues. I just don't want to stitch in blues. So I am like switching out the blue for purple, I think, and making some more like 1-to-1 type conversions with the greens just into over dye. And I'm using some Color and Cotton and Roxy Floss for that. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna take a quick break. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. I had to go get some water. I wasn't expecting to need to drink water, but I am, I guess, kind of like a hermit. Not a hermit, but I work from home. I run an Etsy shop, that sort of thing. And so I don't interact with people. I don't have to talk to people like at all, like hardly at all throughout the day. So I think my voice just is not accustomed to having to talk this much for this long. Anyway, let's get back to the whip braid. Okay. This next one is another kit project. It's a DesignWorks kit. I feel like it has two names that I've seen, but Woodland Castle or Castle in the Clearing. I've seen it listed as both in like 123 Stitch and like other places I've seen it for sale. Yeah, it's really fun. I really hope the picture is showing because it's a lot going on. I purchased this pattern because it really reminds me of these VHSs I used to watch as a kid. I don't even know, they're probably just called like Grimm's Fairy Tale VHSs, but they were cartoons of different Grimm's fairy tales. And yeah, I guess so this is kind of like nostalgic for me. And I just really like the imagery, or at least it's what I remember those VHSs looking like, but I can't be certain because my memory's not that good for childhood memories. I don't remember a lot of stuff like that. But yeah, this is a small start just in the top, what is this? Top left corner of the piece. I'm trying to backstitch as I go because there is a lot of backstitch, but I am saving the French knots for the end so they don't get smashed. I am doing this on a 36 count even weave. It's just a white even weave. I don't even know the brand of it. And I'm doing it as 2/2. So just a little start. I got so this pattern, the physical copy it comes with in the kit. Oh, I should say, this is not kit fabric. This is not what comes in the kit. I think a 14 count white Aida comes in the kit. I swapped it out for this, but the kit, the pattern in it is really bad. It's really bad. The backstitch almost entirely covers up these symbols, so it was really hard to figure out what was going on most of the time. I did, though, reach out to DesignWorks, the creator of this kit, and they sent me a PDF, a very high-res digital copy of the pattern, like no questions asked. So that was super awesome of them, but I don't really use digital patterns that much. So I like stitching from paper, and I think that extra step of having to like print out what section I'm working on from the PDF is what's preventing me from continuing working on this. I might try and figure out a setup just to use I have an iPad now that I think will be a good option just to show the pattern in my stitchy spot, so I don't have to worry about printing it out and figuring it and piecing it together and that sort of thing. Okay, yeah, that one's that. Next is another one of my patterns. This one I am super excited about because I just love the color. I love the colors in it. So these are the colors. Colors, I'll unwind it. It's mostly DMC. I've shown this one on my Instagram. The name of it is Cherry Magpie. So there's been some little snippets of it. It has a really fun palette of greens, some blue, greens, like teals, pinks, that sort of thing. So yeah, like I said, mostly DMC. There are 2 overdyes in here. Zinnia by Color and Cotton. I think this is my favorite hot pink I found. I don't know how to make things focus. Hopefully things are doing okay because I can't really tell, like I can see my screen, but I think these glasses are out of date and I can't, and it's enough that I can't really tell the detail on my screen. Like I can't tell if things are focusing or not. So I think that's focused. I don't know. Yeah, so that's Zinnia. It's one of my favorite pinks that I found. There's no, like, I like this one a lot because there are no DMCs that quite compare to this. A lot of the pinks, like a lot of the DMC pinks are not nearly as saturated as this. So it's really hard to find a good alternative DMC. And then the other over dye is a Threadworks, and it is dark, like a navy to green. I think it's called Peacock. I'm not actually sure. I might put that on the screen. And it does have a number, but if anyone wants to know, it's 10244. Yeah, that's the other over dye in this pattern. So let's see. Like I said, no model or no, what's the word? No mock-up for this one. It is almost finished though, so you'll get a good idea of what's going on. Here it is. It's so pretty. I love this fabric. It's a fox and rabbit fabric. It's a 40 count linen called Beetroot. And it's so, like, it's so dark and saturated. It doesn't look washed out at all. Like some of the dark colors, I feel like they can get, you know, kind of grayish or muted in tone. But this one, yeah, it's amazing. I would be very afraid to wash it, and I don't intend to wash this because, yeah, I'm not trusting that. But I don't even know if they are color fast or if they say they are color fast. So, so far, I think just in the past month I've done. Oh my gosh, I'm having a hard time holding this. The past month I've done like almost all of this, like over the course of maybe a couple weeks. So it's a lot of stitching, and I kind of burnt myself out, even though I really want it to be finished. I only have like, it's just tiny little corner, you know, like one day of stitching. What? No, it's not one day. It'll take me a couple days, I'm sure, but it's coming along. It's so close to finish. What I should do right now is order a frame for this, because that usually motivates me to finish when I have the frame sitting in my office. I feel guilty and I have to finish it. I like to order my frames for a lot of my designs. I like to frame with signed and numbered. They're on Etsy. I think they have a website too. They do these really nice custom wood frames. I guess you could say they're semi-custom, or no, they're custom. They have on their Etsy like a drop down where you can pick a size from there, and there's a lot of options, like more than standard frames. But you can also message them and ask for, like, I want 8.5 by 9.5 frame sort of thing. So it's really cool. I like ordering from there, and they have a lot of fun colors. I'm having a difficult time deciding. That's why, like, normally I would have the frame ordered by now, because it does take, I don't know, like 3 weeks. I want to say like 3 weeks for them to get here, which is not that bad. It might get worse during holiday season, so I'm thinking about holiday season because my shop is retail, and it's like holiday season for me already. Starting to feel like that, at least. I need to get ready for it. But so I want to order the frame. I just don't know what color to order for this. They have this copper color. It's not shiny copper, just a matte copper that I think might look nice with it. They have that, so that's one option I was thinking. And then another option would just be a wood tone, like mid walnut, like a mid-tone wood tone, like a warm walnutty sort of color. That's another option. And then a third option that I was thinking of, because I needed more options, was to do a like almost same color as the fabric. I don't know. They have this color called wine, and it is it'd probably be more red than this from what I'm remembering. This is probably more purple than the color, but I think it'd be cool to do a dark frame on this that's almost the same color as the fabric, kind of like just extension of the fabric. Yeah, so those are my options. I can put those up. I might put pictures of those over here. and maybe you all can help me decide what to do, because once I get that ordered, it'll motivate me to finish this, I'm sure. If I'm not already over, yeah, it'll motivate me for sure. And then I can finish this, which I'm very excited to finish this. I also am excited to finish this just because I want to start another pattern that I designed, so, but I don't want to leave this hanging and just like let it languish for a long time. Yeah, so that's Cherry Magpie, designed by me. All right. Oh, I think that is, yeah, that's my last WIP. Okay, we did it, but I do have a little bit more. I have 2 projects here that I thought I'd just show because I have shown them on Instagram and they have now been abandoned. I figured I should just show them so that nobody's wondering where they went, because they probably won't get shown again. Unless I probably will try and reuse the stitching though in some sort of finish, I'm not sure. But the first one I am abandoning, sadly, is Modern Folk Embroidery Here Be Dragons. I like the pattern. It's not a problem with the pattern. I just don't like stitching with sulky. And this was an experiment to like try out sulky stitching, and it's just not for me. I don't know what it is. I don't usually get super picky about how my stitches are laying on stuff, but I think it definitely helps. It like makes me enjoy it more if it's easy to get things to look like lay nicely. And with sulky, I have a real problem with that. I cannot get things to lay nicely, and it looks fine, like it's not bad, but it just wasn't fun for me. Yeah, this is obviously not the color. Well, obviously Modern Folk Embroidery does a lot of monochromatic pieces, so this is not the called for. It was a random assortment of sulky. I was doing like splitting the borders so that I think I wanted to do one quadrant in this blue and then a light green quadrant of the border, and then mirrored on the bottom. And then the inside was going to be like 2 different greens, these 2 greens. This is on a 36 count Picture This Plus Kermit, and it's 1/1 with the sulky, are they 12 weight? I think it's sulky 12 weight is what it's called, the sulky 12 weight flosses. Yeah, I have all the colors listed on my Instagram if you want to go back in the timeline and figure it out if you, like, for some reason love this color palette. I don't know. I don't think many people would be like super into this, but I love green, so that's what it is. And then the other one I am abandoning. I'm kind of bummed about this one because I really do like this. I really like this idea. This is my video game sampler. I got the idea from Crafty Gaming Jamie. She's doing her own video game sampler where she just puts little patterns on the same piece of fabric that are video game related. So I wanted to do my own thing with put on like patterns for games that I've played recently. And yeah, it was enjoyable to start for sure. I was having a lot of fun trying to find patterns to piece in, but then I don't know, it stopped being relaxing and started becoming a little bit too stressful for my liking for this hobby. I was just having trouble finding like in little spaces like this, trying to find a pattern that would fit, or like trying to get things to mesh together well, because I wanted everything to be super close, not like a lot of space in between everything. So yeah, I'm abandoning this one. I'm gonna try and figure out ways I can maybe use the stitching. It's on a just 40 count flax. It's white art, and it's 1/2. I do plan to restart, like do a new start on a different video game sampler, but it's gonna be totally different because I'm not gonna be choosing random patterns. I think I'm gonna design the patterns myself. I plan on designing, I have a couple of them designed so far. I haven't started it though. So they're they're 40 by 40 little designs, and they, yeah, I plan on like putting them more in a grid so it's easier. It'll just be easier to fit everything nicely on there and have it aesthetically pleasing for me personally. I don't see nothing's wrong with this. Nothing's wrong with this, but like I said, it was just more stressful than I wanted it to be. Yeah, so bummer on that one, but we're moving on. We'll get something new to do in the future. Okay. So now I'm going to share the last thing. This is the last thing I'm going to share. It is plans for my next project I want to start, and it's also a design that I've designed myself. So I'm still in the planning phases of it. Sorry about the plasticky sounds. Like I said a little bit earlier, I was gifted all this pirate robin, so I wanted to put together something that made use of a lot of the colors because they're really great colors. And I came up with this palette. Yeah, it's really pretty. I love the like kind of gradient happening here, and then just two accent colors that are really gonna pop off the dark fabric I plan on using these on. These are, so there's aubergine. I don't know, I'm not gonna be able to get these in focus anyway, but it's aubergine, raisin, this is pomegranate, watermelon, rouge, and mint. Yeah, I think it's really pretty. I'm very excited about it. I have a fabric on the way. I have seen it in person because Amy had a cut of it when I met up with them. So I know what it looks like, and I think it'll work with this. It's an XJU or XJU, I'm not sure the pronunciation of that. XJU Designs Midnight Ride. Maybe I'll put a little picture up here. They didn't have 40 count though, so I bought the 46 count. So I bought the 46 count because of course, and it's a dark fabric, 46 count. I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to stitch on it, so that might not happen, but I think it would be pretty if it does happen. Yeah. I have this backup color. This is 28 count fiber on a whim ivy. Yeah, it's very pretty. I think it'll look good with these flosses as well. I would have to buy it in a 40 count though, because I don't want to stitch on a 28 count for this. I'm excited. The pattern is, the pattern's called Persephone's Garden. So it's gonna have some pomegranates in it. I have some Quaker-like motifs in it. I have a fruit tree, a pomegranate tree, because lately I've just been doing a lot of trees in my designs. I'm not really sure why, but it looks really, I'm excited. I'm very excited about it. I'm in the like, I need to start it phase. I think the inspiration for it was just, I was seeing so many references, or, you know, like, you know, when you're going through life and all of a sudden you start noticing the same thing over and over again. Well, that was happening with me for pomegranates in particular. So like, you know, like this is called pomegranate. I was, there's a pomegranate on my sampler over here. I was watching the new Netflix show Chaos. It's like Greek mythology, so there's pomegranates and Persephone's in that. So yeah, I was just wanting to come up with a pattern that had pomegranates and ideally Persephone, somewhat Persephone themed. It's not heavily Greek mythology themed, the pattern, my pattern is. So yeah, so I'm excited for that. Yay. Okay, I think that's all I have for today. I had a lot of fun filming this. I hopefully will be back sometime soon. But yeah, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for watching. Bye.